news out of Melbourne now, where an accident involving a truck and a car.
Traffic chaos. A semi-trailer has lost control.
Traffic descent into chaos.
It's just slammed straight into the back of all of the scene of yet another terrible accident.
It's a very taxing job. Most car drivers would be ignorant of what it requires a truck driver to do day to day to manoeuvre that vehicle. So you've got to be concentrating all the time.
They have to be fully switched on the whole time they're driving. It's certainly not easy with all the conditions that you have. Slow moving traffic and narrow roads, obstacles.
It's a known fact that transport workers are up to 5 times more likely to be injured at work than any other Australian worker. We feel very strongly about that. We don't want the people that use our products to have a greater chance of injury or incident than anyone else. Why should they? It's very important that they go home to their families just like everybody else does. So as a transport manufacturer, it's clearly our responsibility to provide the right vehicle, the right environment to minimise the likelihood of an incident. The demands on drivers these days are higher than they've ever been. Dense traffic, greater intensity, more drivers on the road than there ever was. The payloads and truck sizes are as large as they've ever been. They're also dealing with a higher expectation of safety and the chain of responsibility throughout the whole network. So it's certainly not getting easier.
I had a driver that said this car came out from an intersection and didn't see me and was right in front of me, and I just had to jam the brakes on and swing the truck to the left. And he said I come out behind him, missed him completely, and it certainly proves that VBS brakes do save lives.
The person did the wrong thing and turned across the road in front of me, and I ended up on the side. With modern technology, that wouldn't have happened. You'd have been able to swerve around and brake at the same time. That technology is brilliant.
At Kenworth, our consideration, our concern for safety starts right at the beginning of the design process. Whether it's the height of the cab above the ground and how you access it, whether it's the visibility you have once you're inside, can you reach everything you need to without taking your eyes off the road, those sorts of concerns, and a myriad of others.
The driver environment is their office. It's where they are for many hours a day. They need to be comfortable and efficient and able to concentrate.
Obviously, fatigue is a major consideration, especially for long-haul drivers, and there's things we can do to minimise that. If we look at the driver's cab as their home for extended periods of time, long hours, they need fresh air. They need to be able to be comfortable and relaxed. The seat needs to support them right. All those things contribute to them being able to comfortably and accurately operate the vehicle for long periods of time. If we take just one item like visibility, for example, obviously you've got visibility of other road users. They could be even pedestrians or cyclists, but beyond that, you're trying to manoeuvre the vehicle in heavy traffic, so you need to look at everybody, the full length of the vehicle, and be able to see them at a glance very readily and clearly in day or night. So that's a really good example of how safety plays a role in the very beginning of the design process. You need to incorporate that from the start. One thing that any experienced driver will tell you is they can't anticipate what every road user is going to do. And that's where these safety systems come in. They can help you, they can provide that support for your decisions and help you avoid an incident. Going back more than 2 decades, we had the emergence of ABS on trucks, which had been in cars for a while. But of course, it was something that intervened between you and the truck, if you like, and contributed to a safer outcome. But now we've got safety systems on the truck that are actually monitoring things you're not aware of and helping you make better decisions and avoid collisions and incidents. Some of these new safety systems, which are using combinations of cameras and radars, in fact seeing things you can't see, these safety systems are now far more integrated with the vehicle rather than being added on, and they're much more intelligent. As a transport manufacturer today, we team with world leaders in these areas, Kenworth being one, for example, testing and calibrating over and over again to understand the sensitivities of all the different parameters in the truck, what difference they make, and when we have to change that calibration. We build the systems into the trucks here, we calibrate them here in the Kenworth factory, but we do a whole lot of off-site testing with Kenworth and others to make sure every possible configuration we can build is operating optimally. We can, through our application engineering, get all kinds of parameters of the vehicle just the way you want, whether that's wheelbase, whether that's fuel, whether that's tyres, whatever it might be. What people may not be aware of, though, is the fact that the safety calibration is unique to that chassis too. It looks at over 100 parameters that we take from your order to make sure that that calibration operates optimally under all circumstances. and we write that specific software for your chassis.
There's stuff that they're thinking of that we haven't even thought of yet, like the adaptive cruise and all that, just there to help. I think it's great.
These safety systems are not the end of it. It's really the beginning of another road. ADAS, Advanced Driver Assistance Systems. Ultimately, at the end, you can have trucks operating more autonomously, but way short of that. There's a whole lot of these supports that will continue to develop. They'll get better and better and ease the load on the driver and let them focus. And we will get to the stage where there's fewer and fewer and fewer truck accidents, and these systems are going to be at the core of that. As far as Kenworth operators' customers are concerned, these safety systems will be central to the exchange we have with them over the years, and it gives the operators confidence that they've minimised risk for their drivers. Because ultimately what we want is the driver is able to come home to watch the news and not be on the news.